things college, the first of what we hope will be a series of public access shows that will discuss issues about going to college and current issues relating to universities and colleges. This show is being brought to you by the College for Me Androscoggin, which is a regional collaborative helping to increase college aspirations and attainment for Central Maine. I'm your host, Dan Philbrick, and for the next half hour, our show will be focusing on the college application process, because before you can attend college, you need to apply to college. I'm being joined by two people very familiar with the college application process. I'd like to welcome Hillary Bush, who is a guidance counselor at Poland Regional High School, and Deborah Cloutier-Baggs, who is a guidance counselor at Lewiston High School. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm hoping that both of you will help answer a lot of the questions family members and parents have about the college application process, and perhaps remove some of the mystery and confusion that accompanies the task of applying for college. And I know this show is very timely for me because I have a 16-year-old daughter at Edward Little High School, and she's getting ready for the process, so it's a learning experience for me as well. So let's get right to the questions. How are applications being completed these days? Is it still paper and pen, or is it online? And either of you can take the question.
I'll start, if that's okay. Many schools are going online. Electronic is pretty much what schools are looking for from students. Very few are taking paper applications these days. We used to get tons and tons of paper applications in the guidance offices, and they're not sending us paper forms anymore. So kids are going online. A lot of kids are using one or two different applications, but it's pretty much all electronic these days.
Okay. Are there application fees, I would imagine, with most applications? And if so, how much?
Application fees can range anywhere from free to probably, I'd say, $75 is the highest I've seen. Oftentimes when students are doing them online, they're free to do them online, so we're encouraging our students to try to find those, search those out. Sometimes when a student visits a college, does an open house, or meets with a representative, they'll get a fee waiver card from that representative or from that college, so they don't have to pay the fee for that. So because the fees are adding up, and it can be hundreds of dollars for a family, so we're trying to help the students find different ways to save some of the money.
So there are waiver options, because that was something else I wanted to ask, if there were waivers available.
We encourage them to call admissions and ask, if I apply online, is there a fee waiver? If I visit or tour, I mean, they'll give them that information on the phone. But a lot of schools are doing that. They're giving fee waivers if they apply online. And then there are fee waivers. Kids who qualify for free reduced lunch through school can get fee waivers. If there are situations, dad's out of work, mom's disabled, if things come up, they come talk to the guidance counselors. Usually we can work something out for them. If they had fee waivers for SATs or ACT exams, they can get college fee waivers as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it gets pretty expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's probably very timely information too, with the economy still the way it is and the unemployment rate, so that's probably good to know. What is this about the early action and early decision? What's the difference between those two?
Go ahead.
That's the favorite question. It's confusing. I think it's confusing even for us. We have to go back in and kind of look at the details. So basically, early decision is what's known as a binding agreement. Students will apply to one college. It's usually a college that they are 150% sure is their top college. They'll apply to that college, and they sign basically a commitment that if the college says yes to them, they are going to go to that college. They will pull all other applications at that point in time. So early decision is the binding agreement. Early action is non-binding. So early action, they can apply, they get a decision, they can sit on that decision for a while and not have any commitment to that college. So they can hear from other colleges, get basically other financial aid packages too, and compare things. So it gives the students more flexibility. So I know for us, we like early action versus early decision because it just doesn't commit them to one school.
Right.
Yeah, but a lot of kids, early decision is, I'm going to Syracuse no matter what the cost is. Money isn't an option or a problem. That's where I'm going to school. So that's early decision. You pretty much know where you're going to go.
Right.
Money isn't an issue for you. You're going to figure that out. A lot of kids' early action deadlines are November 1st, November 15th coming right up, December 1st. And a lot of kids have already sent stuff in for early action. And I had 2 kids come in today. I already heard from early action schools that they're in. So early action deadlines are really good for so that you can find out. A lot of kids find out before the holidays if they're
yeah.
in or not, and then they wait and figure out the financial aid piece.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's a good Christmas present.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Or holiday present,
Yeah.
yes. What about rolling admissions?
Rolling, a lot of schools, a lot of universities and community colleges have rolling admissions, and it's pretty much, they're open pretty much until March, April, but you can't sit back and say, well, it's rolling, I'll just wait. Especially if it's a program that's popular, nursing programs. You want to apply as soon as you've picked your school, because as soon as that program's filled, that's when that program closes. So
Right.
rolling can be deceiving. It doesn't mean you can just wait till March, April to apply. There's some programs still open, but if it's a competitive program, you really want to get your applications out with all your others.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there are sometimes hidden deadlines within there. The school may be rolling admission, but nursing has a deadline or
Right.
engineering has a deadline. So you have to try to search that out, and usually you find that on the admissions page, on the web page,
Yeah.
Okay.
that has admissions information.
So depending on what you're applying for,
Yes.
is might not necessarily correspond to the rolling admissions process that they have. The programs might have deadlines as well.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Right, but there's some kids too applying, or some students applying for early action schools, and they have a couple schools they've put aside for right now, and they're going to get those schools out, and then when they hear, they'll bring those schools back out and apply if they decide the financial aid package isn't right for them, or if they didn't get in. So rolling admissions can be good for some kids, yeah.
Great. So should students apply early?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Hopefully, if you were to ask any senior at Poland Regional High School, they will tell you, we know we should apply by December 1st. That's the deadline that we give our students. Some of that is because the University of Maine deadline to be considered for scholarships is December 15th, and we like our students to have applications in 2 weeks early. So we just encourage them to get everything in by December 1st. That gives us time before vacation to process through everything and get it mailed out, so we don't have to work during vacation, but we're meeting January 1st deadlines and the majority of the deadlines. It also means for rolling admission, they're getting a decision earlier. They're just getting all that admission stuff out of the way. Then they can focus on financial aid and scholarships as well.
Yeah, our deadline is actually, at Lewiston, it's Thanksgiving, before Thanksgiving break. So all the schools in the county pretty much are between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I mean, we only have Thanksgiving is late this year, so we have, I think, 2 weeks of school between Thanksgiving and Christmas break, and we don't go in and work every day during Christmas break. So if kids want stuff to go out, before that January 1st deadline, they really need to get stuff in by December 1st.
So we're actually into your busy time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're very fortunate to have you
Yeah.
even here
This is-
today talking with us.
This is when we want kids to get everything,
Yep.
Absolutely.
get going and
Yep.
get things out. And there's a lot of stuff they need from us and from teachers, so there are a lot of deadlines they have to be aware of.
Okay. And how many students do students usually apply to? Schools do students usually apply to?
I'd say
Is there
that's
an average number? Or?
it's increasing. Since we've been open, it's definitely increased. I'd say we would have maybe students applying to 4 schools on average, and I think we were about at 5 or 6 schools last year. Some of that's the economy. Students need to apply to more schools to see more of the depth of what they could get for financial aid and to negotiate some of that. Some of it's the competitiveness of programs. Nursing program, I'm encouraging students to apply to more schools and more widespread schools just to have some options available. So we still have students that'll apply to 1 or 2, but that's pretty rare these days that they're applying to more, just because we don't know what it's going to look like for their family or for the economy or anything else in May.
And we always, and more competitive schools too are getting even more competitive. A lot of students are applying, if you're applying to George Washington University, I mean, we get letters saying, we got 20,000 applications, we only have 1,200 seats. So, you may be a really good candidate for a lot of schools, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be accepted.
Right.
So a lot more kids are applying to college, so the numbers are pretty high.
Right. Your competition is global these days. So.
And we always want kids, a lot of kids want to apply out of state. We hear a lot, I just want to get out of state of Maine. But then we make sure they apply to 1 or 2 Maine schools, great schools, and a lot of them actually end up going to Maine schools for different reasons. But so the list has increased. We usually 6 to 8 schools.
Okay.